All right. So on top of the session layer, we're going to be using another library that builds on this. Right? Uses the underlying session object to secure our applications. We're going to be using Passport.js. Passport.js is a library that is built on top of the session library that allows you to authenticate users. Right? Now, for authentication, typically there's two parts of this. One of them, the first part is identifying who the user is, right? Either through some kind of credentials or some security authority that says that this person is who they say they are. And once you're authenticated, then there's the authorization part, right? And now that I know who you are you allowed to do certain things, right? Can you do this, that, and the other? Can you view these things? Can you do these actions, right? So let's first focus on the authentication part. So Passport.js is a Node.js library that abstracts the mechanisms of authenticating folks. Okay, it doesn't do much about the authorization part. It only does the authentication part. Okay, it's a library that allows us to use the same exact APIs for authenticating users either locally, right, to a local database, right, or authenticating them with any third-party API such as LinkedIn, right, GitHub, or any other authentication provider, right? It allows us to have the same API across many authentication providers. Today we're going to look at the local authentication provider, meaning we are going to authenticate users, right? We have a database, where we have usernames, we have passwords, and we're going to authenticate the users against our local database, right? And hence the strategy is called the local strategy. Right, so Passport breaks up their various mechanisms and calls them strategies. So the Facebook strategy, the Google strategy, each one of these are different strategies that are all abstracted with a single API. Right, today we're going to look at the local API, the local strategy, and it's going to be our responsibility to authenticate the person. Right, we're going to get a username and password right from the client. We're going to look for these user in the local database. And if we find the user, we're gonna let the infrastructure know, yep, this user is good, right? This user does exist in our database. Make sense, right? So Passport, the only thing that Passport really does is that it provides a thin layer of callbacks, right? That we then use as hooks, to know where in the life cycle is this user? Is this user an authenticated user? Have they logged out? Are they in the process of logging in? Where are they? Okay, in the process of their security. Everybody okay? All right. Okay, so let's start with this. In your assignment, we have given you some of the starting code that you'll need. First, you'll need to install the Passport library. I believe I give it to you somewhere here. Install expression, configure Passport. I thought I gave you that. Guess not. We'll need to install the Passport library. And the Passport library is this one right here, Passport. And you need to install it. So on your terminal, you'll do npm install -- save and then Passport without the quotes. That will install Passport. Make sure you have it installed in your package JSON. Okay, there it is, Passport installed. And then the local, do we have the local here? Strategy, there it is, it's Passport local. Passport local. So you'll need to install that one as well. Passport-local. So each one of the strategies is installed separately, right? So if you want to use Facebook, you'll need to install Passport-Facebook. Right? If you want to use Google, you'll need to install Passport-Google. Right? So in the assignment, you're required to choose one of the authentication providers. Right? I don't remember if it's Google or Facebook. I don't remember. For the project, you're then required to use the other one. So if you use Facebook for one, then you're going to use Google for the other, or vice versa. Okay? All right. All right. So we installed Passport Local. And where is it? Why is it? Wait, did I? Oh, I didn't do save. Wait, I did do save. Why did you not save? Save. There it is. Okay, install Passport Local. Everyone okay? All right. Okay, so the what we're gonna do is we already have cookie parser and session already configured. Right now, we need to also configure Passport. Right, we need to tell Passport, hey, you already have a session going. Right, use that session that we just created for you. Use that library. Okay, so to do that, we're going to load Passport. Let's load Passport in our server. So we'll load the Passport library. There it is. We're going to initialize Passport. And we'll do that after the session. All right, so initialize can be done anywhere, but this session needs to be done after you configure the session. Right, it needs to be in that order. All right, so that it uses that session instance you created just 2 seconds ago. All right, so this one is telling Passport, hey Passport, we already created a session object for you. Use that one. All right, use that session. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Right, the next couple of things that we need to do is to start using the API to have Passport participate in the communication of these cookies and sessions going backwards and forwards. Okay, and to do that, we're going to do all that work in the user service server. So in here, we're going to load again the Passport library. We're going to require that local strategy, and then we're going to configure it. Right? We're going to configure it by saying, hey, this is what you should do whenever you see someone trying to log in. Okay, right? We'll do that next.